When working with 120 volts Tamper flow switches, there are several codes and standards that you should be aware of to ensure proper installation and operation. These include the National Electrical Code, NFPA 72 and NFPA 13. The National Electrical Code, specifically Article 725, addresses Class 1, 2, and 3 remote control, signaling, and power-limited circuits. Section 725.15e directly pertains to Tamper flow switches. NFPA 72, the National Fire Alarm Code, Chapter 18 covers fire alarm and signaling systems. Section 18.14 5.5 focuses on Tamper flow switches. NFPA 13, the standard for the installation of sprinkler systems, Section 8.15 4.1 mentions Tamper flow switches in wet sprinkler systems. NEC and NEC 1936, the standard for factory mutual system conduit fittings, lists Tamper flow switches as approved raceway fittings. Some specific code requirements include location, activation, delay time, power source, auxiliary reset, and inspection and testing. Firstly, location. Tamper flow switches must be installed within 25 feet of the point where the alarm signal originates according to NEC 725.15 Secondly, activation. Tamper flow switches must be activated by a flow rate that is less than or equal to 15 gallons per minute as per NFPA 72, Section 18.14 5.5. Thirdly, delay time. A delay time of at least 2 seconds and not more than 20 seconds is required to prevent false alarms from minor pressure fluctuations, also per NFPA 72, Section 18.14 5.5. Fourthly, power source. Tamper flow switches must be connected to a power source that will maintain the device in a standby condition at all times, as outlined in NEC 725.15 Fifthly, auxiliary reset. Tamper flow switches must have an auxiliary reset feature to prevent unauthorized reactivation of the system, as stated in NFPA 72, Section 18.14 5.5. Sixthly, inspection and testing. Tamper flow switches must be inspected and tested in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and the requirements of NFPA 72. There are additional considerations to keep in mind. There are different types of Tamper flow switches. These include pressure-type Tamper flow switches, which detect changes in flow pressure, and velocity-type Tamper flow switches, which detect changes in flow velocity. Flow rates can vary depending on the specific Tamper flow switch model. Always check the manufacturer's specifications for the correct flow rates. Environmental factors also play a role. Consider the temperature, humidity, and corrosive conditions where the Tamper flow switch will be installed. These factors can affect the performance and lifespan of the device. It's critical to consult the specific code requirements and the NEC and NFPA standards to ensure full compliance when installing a Tamper flow switch. It is important to ensure that the chosen power source is reliable and capable of maintaining the Tamper flow switch in a standby condition. This is critical for the device to function properly when needed. The auxiliary reset feature is important for security and preventing unwanted system reactivations. Regular inspection and testing are essential for ensuring the reliability of Tamper flow switches. Adhering to manufacturer's instructions and the requirements of NFPA 72 is a must. When considering the type of Tamper flow switch, choose the one that is best suited for the application based on the flow characteristics of the system. Always refer to the manufacturer's data for specific flow rates to ensure that the Tamper flow switch will activate as intended. Be mindful of the environmental conditions of the installation site. For example, in environments with high humidity, consider using a Tamper flow switch with corrosion-resistant components. The codes are essential for proper installation and operation and should be followed. The NEC provides requirements for the electrical connections and power supply to the Tamper flow switch, while NFPA 72 sets the standards for the performance and reliability of the device within the fire alarm system. NFPA 13 provides guidance on the placement of Tamper flow switches within the sprinkler system. The ANSI/UL 1936 standard ensures that the conduit fittings used with the Tamper flow switch are appropriate and safe. These codes help prevent false alarms, ensure proper activation during a fire event, and maintain the integrity of the fire protection system. Always consult the latest editions of these codes, as they are updated regularly. Seek guidance from qualified professionals who are knowledgeable about fire protection systems and electrical codes. This ensures that the installation meets all requirements and functions properly. Consider the specific needs of the facility or building where the Tamper flow switches are being installed. For example, in a high-rise building, the requirements may be more stringent than in a small commercial building. Proper documentation of the installation, testing, and inspection of Tamper flow switches is essential for maintaining compliance and providing a record of the system's performance over time. Always use appropriate tools and equipment when installing Tamper flow switches, and follow all safety precautions to prevent injury or damage. Stay informed about changes and updates to the codes and standards related to Tamper flow switches and fire protection systems. Consider attending training courses or workshops to enhance your knowledge and skills in this area. When selecting a Tamper flow switch, consider its compatibility with the existing fire alarm system and sprinkler system. Ensure that the Tamper flow switch is properly labeled and identified, so that it can be easily located and inspected. The Tamper flow switch should be installed in a location where it is accessible for maintenance and testing. It is important to verify that the Tamper flow switch is listed and approved for the intended application. When connecting the Tamper flow switch to the fire alarm system, follow the manufacturer's instructions and the requirements of the NEC and NFPA 72. Use appropriate wiring methods and connectors to ensure a reliable and secure connection. Proper grounding of the Tamper flow switch is essential for preventing electrical hazards and ensuring proper operation. When testing the Tamper flow switch, simulate a flow condition to verify that it activates the fire alarm system as intended. Keep a record of all tests and inspections, including the date, time, and results. If any problems are found during testing or inspection, take immediate corrective action to resolve them. Ensure that all personnel who are involved in the installation, testing, and maintenance of Tamper flow switches are properly trained and qualified. The requirements for Tamper flow switches are designed to protect lives and property by ensuring that the fire protection system is functioning properly and reliably. By following the codes and standards outlined in the NEC, NFPA 72, and NFPA 13, you can help to ensure that the fire protection system is effective in detecting and suppressing fires. Remember, always prioritize safety and compliance when working with Tamper flow switches and fire protection systems. If you have any questions or concerns, seek guidance from qualified professionals who can provide expert advice and assistance. Understanding and adhering to these codes and considerations can help ensure the reliable operation of Tamper flow switches, which play a critical role in fire protection systems. They provide early warning of sprinkler system impairments, allowing for prompt corrective action and minimizing the risk of fire damage. Compliance with these codes is not only essential for safety, but also for meeting insurance requirements and avoiding potential legal liabilities. Always consult with local authorities and fire marshals to ensure that the installation meets all applicable regulations and requirements. The information provided here is intended for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. It is the responsibility of the installer and owner to ensure that the Tamper flow switch is properly installed, tested, and maintained in accordance with all applicable codes and standards. By taking the time to understand and comply with these requirements, you can help to protect lives and property from the devastating effects of fire.